When Lucinda walked back into the villa after the public backlash, something felt wrong. The laughter was gone, conversations stopped, and for 3 long days, no one spoke to her. Lucinda Hayes had imagined many things about returning to the villa: drama, romance, awkward conversations, maybe even a few tears. But what she never expected was silence. The kind of silence that makes a crowded room feel empty. The kind that makes you wonder if everyone around you suddenly sees you differently. Just hours earlier, Lucinda had been smiling. The producers had called her to the beach hut and told her the news. "There's been a reaction outside the villa," one of them explained carefully. Lucinda blinked. "A reaction?" They nodded. Clips from a recent challenge had gone viral online. Viewers had interpreted a moment between Lucinda and another islander as mean-spirited, even bullying. Social media had exploded. Hashtags, headlines, thousands of opinions from people who had only seen a few seconds of edited television. Lucinda felt her stomach tighten. "But that's not what happened," she said quietly. The producers assured her the situation would calm down. Still, they warned that some contestants might feel awkward once they heard about the backlash. Lucinda nodded slowly. She thought awkward meant uncomfortable conversations. She was wrong. When she walked back into the villa, the mood had changed. A few islanders were sitting by the pool. Someone was laughing at something on their phone. But the moment Lucinda stepped outside, the laughter stopped. It wasn't dramatic. No one yelled, no one confronted her. They just went quiet. Lucinda forced a smile. "Hey guys!" A few people nodded politely. "Hi." Then they looked away again. Lucinda told herself she was imagining it. Maybe everyone was just tired. Maybe she was overthinking things. But by the end of the night, the feeling hadn't disappeared. It had grown heavier. The next morning, Lucinda walked into the kitchen where 2 islanders were making breakfast. Normally, mornings in the villa were chaotic. Music playing, coffee brewing, people arguing over toast. But when Lucinda stepped inside, the conversation stopped again. "Morning," she said. "Morning," one of them replied quickly. Then they turned back to the stove without continuing their conversation. Lucinda opened the fridge slowly, pretending to look for something while her mind raced. Did I actually do something wrong? She replayed the challenge in her head. There had been teasing, laughing, sarcastic comments, but that happened every day in the villa. No one had seemed upset at the time, so why did it feel like everyone had decided to keep their distance now? By the afternoon, Lucinda couldn't ignore it anymore. Groups formed around the pool, chatting and joking, but whenever she walked closer, the conversations faded. One evening, she sat alone on the outdoor sofa while everyone else gathered around the fire pit. The villa lights glowed softly, reflecting across the water. Usually, the atmosphere felt electric. That night, it felt like she was invisible. Lucinda stared at the pool, fighting the uncomfortable feeling building in her chest. Maybe they think I really am a bully. The thought hurt more than she expected. She had always tried to be the fun one, the positive one, the girl who kept things light when drama exploded around her. Yet now, because of a few seconds of television, people outside the villa had labeled her something she didn't recognize. And inside the villa, people seemed unsure how to treat her. 3 days passed like that. 3 long days where Lucinda felt like she was living in a house full of strangers. Then something finally changed. Late one night, as most of the islanders went upstairs, Maya, one of the quieter contestants, stayed behind. Lucinda was sitting alone again, scrolling through photos on the villa camera. Maya hesitated before sitting beside her. "You okay?" she asked softly. Lucinda gave a small shrug. "I guess." Maya sighed. "Look, people have been weird the past few days." Lucinda lauded a small laugh. "That's one way to describe it." Maya glanced toward the villa doors before speaking again. "Everyone heard about the backlash outside the villa." Lucinda nodded slowly. "I figured." "They just don't know what to say," Maya continued. "Some of them are scared of getting dragged into the drama, too." Lucinda stared at the pool lights reflecting in the water. "So the safest option is just ignore me?" Maya winced slightly. "I think people thought giving you space would help." Lucinda shook her head gently. space feels a lot like being avoided. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Maya nudged her shoulder. For what it's worth, I don't think you're a bully. Lucinda felt something loosen inside her chest. Thanks. The next day, things slowly started shifting. Not dramatically, but enough to notice. Someone asked Lucinda if she wanted coffee. Another islander invited her to join a game by the pool. The silence that had surrounded her for days finally began to crack. And when the group gathered around the fire pit that evening, the conversations felt normal again. Lucinda laughed at a joke and realized something surprising. The villa hadn't really changed. People were just afraid of public opinion, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of becoming the next headline. Later that night, Lucinda sat in the beach hut reflecting on the past week. It was strange, she admitted. When people stopped talking to me, it made everything feel 10 times worse. She paused before continuing. But it also reminded me how quickly things can get misunderstood. Lucinda smiled slightly. Inside the villa, moments pass in seconds, but outside, they can turn into something completely different. She leaned back in the chair, looking thoughtful. I just hope people remember there are real humans behind these clips. Then she laughed softly, and hopefully no more 3-day silent treatments. Because in a place designed for romance, drama, and connection, the hardest thing to handle wasn't confrontation, it was silence.